I don't know how StreamYard
Yep,
works.
we are live.
Yeah, perfect. We are live. Hello and welcome. Thanks, Katrina, for joining me for a bit of a chat about, about the social media and marketing conference and about you being one of my amazing keynoters. I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting.
Well, just before we press live, we were actually I was just actually speaking to Jen about what an incredible group of speakers that you have curated for this event, and I'm really, really looking forward. There's a number of speakers that I'm really looking forward to listening to on the bill. So it is going to be a action-packed day. Really quality speakers. And what I like, Jen, is what I'll say to you and to everyone listening, is that I like that a lot of the speakers that you have selected are very based on practical. So they're very much, if I think about some of them I've worked with before actually, is they're very much focused on implementation and key strategies that you can use and immediately implement, and they're kind of my people. So from an attendee point of view, I'm really excited from that perspective, and also then putting on my speaker hat from a speaker point of view, I'm getting to talk about a subject that I'm super passionate about, which is around marketing with no money. So that's always a thrill for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And when I was putting it together, it was like, what are the things that I constantly hear that people need help with, that people need, to hear from the experts on? And that's kind of how the list came together. I just listening to the audience, listening to my community going, okay, we need to know how to use TikTok and Reels better, email marketing, how can we market for free these days? Because, there is just so much pressure in small business. But so I'm glad that you're excited as I am. I can't wait to be a person and listening to all of those people like yourself and Andrew Griffith and even Trace. Like, we've known each other for so long, but I've never actually seen you speak as in live on a stage. Like, we've seen webinars and things like that. So I am like, it's just so chuffed to be able to see, people live that I've watched and admired for so long.
And likewise, I think the opportunity to share the stage with a bunch of your colleagues that you really admire and respect as well is an absolute treat.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about your keynote. It is marketing with no money. Tell us a little bit about what to expect if we come and listen to this keynote.
Okay, well, listen, for people who aren't familiar with me, my name is Katrina McCarter. Essentially, I'm a marketing strategist and speaker, and I have a number of kind of key specialty areas that I like to talk about. One of them is around marketing to mums. Another one is around generational marketing and really understanding consumers. Another one is around partnerships and collaborations. And the final area that I really talk about, that I'm passionate about, is marketing with no money. And this probably comes around, if we talk about kind of my differences as a marketer, is I'm very data driven. I'm very practical, but I'm also really resourceful. And that probably stems from, who I am as a person. I grew up with a single mother, and she really made sure that I knew the value of everything. And we were always taught to be extremely resourceful and creative. And for me, it was in my very first business that I launched back in 2011, which was an online. Yeah, I know. I've been around a while. I launched that in 2011. It was an online group buying site for families. And I made a lot of mistakes, when I launched that first business. I remember, wasting quite a bit of cash, and it was a really big learning for me. I made this commitment to me because I had investors in my business. I was like, I have to be so careful how I spend this. I have to be successful. I have to succeed. That I made a commitment to myself that I would learn how to kind of be really careful with my money and my marketing investments. And that's really where this kind of resourceful marketing came about. And then I really honed it into working and coaching with so many small businesses, because I'm really passionate about helping small businesses. And I could see that there were a number of those, marketing overwhelm is really, really thing, and we see that out there. But I also saw a lot of business owners throwing a bit of money here and a bit of money there, kind of what might go, but not kind of having a real strategy, not really knowing what were the most effective marketing strategies for them. And something that I've learned over, as I said, since 2011, but also in my professional career in sales and marketing in the corporate space is that there are a lot of marketing strategies that are highly effective for small business owners that don't require a cent. Anything that I'm going to be sharing with you on stage at Jen's conference is really, it's research backed, but it's also things that I've been doing with hundreds of my clients, since 2015 when I started doing coaching and consulting. So I know that they work, and I know that they work across lots of different industries as well. So I'm excited to share what some of those are. There's probably there's 13 of them that I kind of have in my armory. I haven't yet decided what are going to be my 5 that I'm going to talk about on the day, but I do kind of have a few kind of favorites that I lean into. But I might kind of get in contact with some of the other speakers that I know might be doing some marketing topics, just to make sure that there's not kind of any crossover, so that everything that you're getting as the audience is new and fresh. So yes. That's kind of a little bit about me and what I'm proposing to talk about.
Yeah, beautiful. So what's that? I guess if, someone's coming along and they're sitting in the audience, what's that one light bulb moment that you hope that they have, or that one big takeaway that you hope that they have after listening to, your talk about marketing with no money, no matter what of the 13 you choose? Like, is there like something that you hope they walk away with?
Yeah, something that they do immediately.
Yeah, great.
As I said, I'm super practical. I build all my work is driven into, I want someone to leave that audience and within 24 hours be able to implement something. So, and I want that to be a proven, practical thing that they can do immediately. So I always set a challenge. There will most definitely be a challenge that I will be setting at the end of my presentation, that will be linked to a choice of items, in terms of, I'll probably select 5 to 7 that I'll cover off in my presentation, but there will be something that I will be asking people to do immediately after they leave the conference. Yeah,
I love that.
Up. So Jen, I'll probably record something afterwards, just to provide that little bit of accountability and that little bit of reminding, because there's going to be so many great speakers and they're all going to be asking you to go away and do something in business. So from my point of view, I want to make sure that that you have got something really meaningful from me that you're actually putting in place, that I feel is actually really going to make a difference in your business, not fluff.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that, because there's no use coming and spending this money, whether you live in Melbourne or you're flying in and need accommodation, but there's no use spending the day listening to amazing speakers like yourself and others that are speaking, and then just go away and get on with life and do the same thing that you were doing before you attended the conference. Like that's not a compliment to the speakers, and it's certainly not a compliment to your business either. So I love the idea, and certainly the workbook will be skewed towards that, of people making 1 or 2 things from every speaker as their kind of to-do list as they walk away, rather than a workbook full of ideas that they've got no idea where to start. So I love that. Great. What do you think about conferences at the moment, Katrina? Like, do you feel like, we spent so much time being online a couple of years ago, and I feel like there's a bit of an evolution that people are wanting that face-to-face, that those networking opportunities. I know you do a lot of speaking around our country and even overseas. What are you seeing as far as conferences? Do you think they're on the rise again?
Absolutely. So certainly I'm seeing a lot more interest in in-person events. Next week I've got 4 events. One of those is for 800 people in an industry. And I think that there's always that hunger to learn. I think that professional development, particularly if you're a small business owner, optional. It's something that you really need to do in terms of growing your business, keeping ahead of what's changed and what's coming. So I see them as super valuable. Of course, I'm a conference speaker, but I really have noticed certainly that it's a very, very strong event market over the last few months, and demand's kind of really coming all over the world. I'm actually in the US next month. Actually, I've got four speaking engagements there, and there is that hunger for people to come together and learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I would love to be going to my own conference. Of course I am, but I just, I've really missed conferences. They're, going back 6-7 years ago, I used to attend at least 2 or 3 every year that were about learning as a small business owner. So I've really missed that conference market, which is, I guess, one of the reasons why I've decided to put one on is, if I'm missing them, maybe other people are as well.
I also think it's a great opportunity to catch up with your business besties. And if you don't have those business besties, if you haven't yet cultivated them, they for me have been a game changer. I formed my business besties, or who are my kind of accountability group, about 7 or 8 years ago. And an event provides a wonderful excuse for you to all learn and catch up as well. So if you don't have the business besties, an event is also an opportunity then for you to meet other business owners who might then become kind of your business besties. And what I love about that is being able to have that safe space where you talk about some of the challenges within business, because look, we all 100%. And it's so important for you to have that safe space that you can problem solve or even just offload, perhaps get some advice. I have really felt that has been one of the biggest game changers that I've made in my whole business journey of being running my own business.
Yeah. Funnily enough, Jemima Ashley, who is one of the speakers that's coming to speak about business awards and that as a marketing strategy, we met at a conference probably 10 years ago. And, we sat at the same table. I didn't know her before that. And now 10 years on, we're still in contact. We still work together. And now she's a speaker at one of my conferences. And I've been a speaker for her and attended many of her events that she's done. So you can actually meet a business bestie at a conference. So that's a really great reminder. I'd forgotten about where I'd met Jemima all those years ago.
Well, caught up with how my accountability group came about, who are my business besties. I actually caught up with one of those people at an event, and it was from that event she said, "Hey, I think we should get a group together. I'm thinking about X, Y, and Z." And that was kind of the start of us coming together. So
yeah, brilliant. Yeah, there you go. If someone's sitting on the fence going, should I come or shouldn't I come? Did you have any amazing advice for them other than get your ticket?
Don't overthink it. And I would say really think about where your learning opportunities, your professional learning opportunities are this year. I think it's really important. I'm very strategic in my thinking, and I plan out where my learning opportunities are going to be for the year. Is it going to be through coaching or events, or what am I going to do? Or is it going to be a combination of what that is? So I would say have a good think about what your professional development looks like this year. If you have identified that events are part of it, I would say this is a really interesting group of speakers. I haven't been on the bill with all of these people before, but I know them and respect them. Many of the people who are speaking, and there's also some new faces that I'm really interested in listening to some of their content. So I think that it would be a wise move.
Yeah, beautiful. And who do you hope to see there? Who do you hope is in the audience? When you think about your keynote, Marketing with No Money, like who do you hope attends?
Oh, definitely. Okay, really good question, Jen. Definitely small business owners, independents. I think independents can really benefit from some of the material that I'm going to be sharing. It's not to say that if you're a franchise, that you're not going to benefit from it as well. But if you're a small business owner, I think that my material would be perfect for you. And it doesn't matter what your industry is. You might be a children's activity provider. You might be in professional services. You could be from all sorts of industries. I will ensure, my pledge to you is I will ensure that it equally applies.
Yeah, beautiful. I love that. And I would expect nothing less from an amazing professional speaker like yourself. So thank you. That's great. Katrina, thank you so much for giving up some of your time to come and have a bit of a chat on this live stream, on the different platforms we're live on at the moment. And of course, you might be listening to this as a podcast as well a little bit later. But yeah, I'm very thankful. I'm so excited that you've managed to fit the social media and marketing conference into your very busy schedule heading into the second half of the year.
I wouldn't miss it.
Beautiful. Now, if you haven't got your ticket, you can get it by going to socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/conference, or I'm sure that Katrina and I have got it on our socials, so you can definitely find the link in there as well. But thank you so much again, and I really appreciate all your wisdom and can't wait to hear you speak.
Thank you, Jen. And if anyone is live listening to us and they do come along to the conference, please come up and say hello to me on the day. Would love to meet you and learn more about it.
Yeah, perfect. Beautiful. See you later. Thanks. Bye.